I'm gonna beat you up, but I'm gonna beat you up, cause I'm the king!
Finally get away from Mario.
Yes.
Welcome to another episode of Versus.
This time we are pitting the fighters from the street and the Tekkens from the techies. Specifically, we are pitting Tekken 3 and Street Fighter Alpha 3 against each other.
Straight off the bat and into the mid-air of a tiny tank, Tekken 3 is a lot more visually exciting than its competitor. Tekken delivers some wonderful rendered 3D character models with great detail and fluid animations.
On top of this, the game offers tons of FMV cutscenes, which at the time were considered as mind-blowing as a squirrel playing a piano.
The backgrounds can be quite bare, but to be honest, who actually cares how detailed the backgrounds are anyway? Fighting games are about the action, and Tekken has it where it counts.
However, Street Fighter shouldn't be knocked down just because it's 2D.
Oh.
The game offers some splendid sprite animation, which is smooth and visually eye-catching, especially the super combos. In fact, it may not look it, but Alpha 3 is pushing the limits of the PlayStation by having so many playable characters.
But it's 2D. Speaking of which, Street Fighter begins with 31 playable characters, one of the largest rosters ever assembled on the PlayStation.
Meanwhile, Tekken 3 begins off with a measly 10 fighters. However, this eventually expands to 21, while Alpha 3 expands to 34. Still, it wins by a landslide.
Of course, all of this would mean nothing if the gameplay wasn't up to snuff. Tekken 3 is a much slower and realistic fighting game where you pull off moves based on real fighting styles.
Just with flashy electricity and a giant ogre.
The game has an insane amount of depth, and pulling off a string of combos is very satisfying and fun. Each character feels unique, minus a few clones, and well balanced. Street Fighter, on the other hand, is a more anime and less realistic fighting game.
Well, actually, it's not, because I actually saw someone do Hadouken, and it was pretty amazing. I must admit. I filmed it. Check this out. Hey, Charlie, how? Whoa! Holy crap, that's amazing! If I don't show anything, though, Hey, don't touch my car!
Jumping is more prominent, and executing special moves and projectile attacks adds a great deal of strategy to the game.
Alpha 3 also offers free fighting styles to utilize. X-isms, A-isms, and V-isms. These fighting styles feel slightly different and further cement the strategic elements of the game, giving you the freedom to pull off your special moves in your own favorite way.
Each game offers the usual arcade mode, which is worth playing in Tekken to unlock new characters and watch some funny cutscenes.
Like Jin killing a soldier.
Unfortunately, Alpha 3's arcade cutscenes are so generic, we couldn't even be bothered to record them.
Both games also provide a major single-player component, and in Street Fighter, it's the World Tour mode.
In this mode, you travel the globe, battling opponents, and leveling up your character to unlock perks and upgrades. This mode also spices up the gameplay by having alternative challenges, such as fighting tons of Chun-Lis or defeating T-Bird using only custom combos.
It's a really good addition, so it's a shame Capcom hasn't used it since. Meanwhile, Tekken's big single-player content is Tekken Force Mode. It attempts to play like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but unfortunately the game's controls don't adapt well, and it just feels clunky and annoying. Especially when you want to collect a chicken, but you can't because you're restricted in a 2D plane. It's right there, Hong! Pick up the goddamn chicken! Ultimately, you'll have to work out some awkward methods to collect the tantalizing meat.
Both games offer a lovely collection of modes, and while it seems Tekken has more at first, Alpha 3's survival mode offers 8 variations, so they sort of balance out.
The soundtrack in Street Fighter is very loud and perfectly fits the tone of the game, with fast-paced beats and aggressive melodies.
Just like Bomberman.
Meanwhile, Tekken 3's music is more rock-heavy and cool.
The themes for each character are also much more distinctive, with Lei's theme perfectly capturing his more laid-back, drunken boxing style.
So, who will be the winner? Will Tekken beat Street Fighter into submission, or will Street Fighter shuriken them out of the winner's spotlight? Only you can decide.
Vote by saying what game you pick in the comments, and the winner will be revealed on the 15th of June. Get voting!